Hello and welcome to the Ant-Man channel on this Tuesday the 8th of October 2013. And I've got in front of me an article from ClashDaily.com, and they got this article from RedState.com, and you can actually go check this article out for yourself. I would just go to ClashDaily.com, and this article was written today. Anti-Christian. Obama declares the future must not belong to practicing Christians. I like this picture that they posted too. I mean, look at that. That should have been Obama's campaign slogan, because if he wanted to really be transparent and honest with you, he would tell you straight up he doesn't like Christians. He's Muslim. He's not even from this country. He has no birth certificate. How many things about Obama smell to high heaven, man? In his speech to the United Nations General Assembly today, the President of the United States declared that the future does not belong to practicing Christians. Already the media and the left are in full denial, probably based on their general lack of understanding of theology. This would have been a gaffe had Mitt Romney said it, but with Barack Obama, he's just speaking bold truths. His bold truth declares that the future does not belong to practicing Christians. So pay careful attention to what he says. The future must not belong to those who slander the Prophet of Islam. Yet to be credible, those who condemn that slander must also condemn the hate we see when the image of Jesus Christ is desecrated. Churches are destroyed, or the Holocaust is denied. Let us condemn incitement against Sufi Muslims and Shiite pilgrims. It is every time that phone goes off, man, I just really have bad timing with that. Let us condemn incitement against Sufi Muslims and Shiite pilgrims. It is time to heed the words of Gandhi. Intolerance is itself a form of violence and an obstacle to the growth of a true democratic spirit. Together we must work toward a world where we are strengthened by our differences and not defined by them. That is what America embodies, and that is the vision we will support. So,
Hello, this is a message.
Anyways, Jesus Christ said that, you don't really have to commit adultery to commit adultery. All you got to do is lust in your heart after a woman. Look at a woman and think disgusting, evil things in your mind and in your heart. That's how you commit adultery in God's eyes. I mean, for example, you don't need to murder somebody to be a murderer. All you need to do is slander them in your mind and in your heart, and you're already murdering them in your heart. I don't know why God sees it that way, because when Cain killed Abel, he was I guess you would say jealous. He was jealous of Abel because God favored his sacrifice. So, it's the same motive, it's the same intention, and it's the same motive from. If you hate somebody, it's the same motive. You want to kill them. And nobody's going to admit this because everybody's holier than thou. Nobody thinks that they're a bad people on their own. The people actually think that they're inherently good. So stupid people are today. Let's see. Now that's the full paragraph, so no one can claim I took it out of context. But consider this. It is an Orthodox Christian belief that Muhammad is not a prophet. Actually, no duh. I've read this entire Bible. I've read this one and the King James one. And there is nothing about Muhammad. There's nothing about praying to Mary and venerating through saints. There's nothing about counting beads. All this stuff is just made up. It's all made up. Actual Christians, and opposed to many of the supposed Christians put up by the mainstream media, believe that Christ is the only way to salvation. Believing that is slandering Muhammad. That's just a fact. If you don't believe me, you go into the Middle East and proclaim Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, and see what happens to your life. Then Barack Obama went on to say, yet to be credible, those who condemn that slander must also condemn the hate we see when the image of Jesus Christ is desecrated, churches are destroyed, or the Holocaust is denied. No, he says we cannot slander the Prophet of Islam, but it's only the image of Christ in the next sentence, not actually Christ himself desecrated. If this is so, why does Barack Obama's government continue funding the National Endowment for the Arts, which funded Christ in piss, the Virgin Mary painted on dung, etc.? Whoa. Now, in point of fact, this is a major difference between Islam and Christianity. Christ came to this world as an enemy of the world and expected to be impunged. Duh! He knew he was going to get killed. He gave himself up. He didn't come and like naively come into the world. No, dude. He knew what was going to happen to him. He's not stupid. He's God, and he knows everything. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't come to this world and be like, oh, you know, I'm going to call the righteous around me. No, dude, he knows how freaking wretched we are. And he came to save us, man, by his perfect grace and his perfect finished work through all the prophecies that he fulfilled, spoken by the Old Testament prophets. I mean, the Jews that were so self-absorbed, the Jewish lawmakers and the Pharisees didn't even realize what they did, man. It's amazing. The book of the Bible is the most amazing book, dude, I've ever read. Now, in point of fact, this is a major difference between Islam and Christianity. So, now that I've read that, impugned, I don't know what this word is, I-M-P-U-G-N-E-D. Anyways, there is joy in being persecuted for following the risen Lord. In Islam, if you impugn Muhammad, you get a fatwa on your butt. Well, there you go, people. You see who the religion of peace really is when you really go into like some type of study, or you try to understand these things, not just by listening to what liberals say all day. That's why people have such a bad image of Christians, is because liberals are painting the picture of what a Christian is. Their talking points in the mainstream media are so stupid. I mean, I've seen people that get really wrapped up in mainstream media, like the things that they talk about, and it's pathetic. They're making you think that real issues are certain things that aren't real issues. Real issues in this country, let me tell you what a real issue in this country is. That people think that Republicans and Democrats are actually against each other when they work in the same stupid house. They work together. It's not anybody's single, nobody's to blame. Not one single person is to blame for the government being shut down. It's everyone's fault because nobody works together. They're all sellouts. They've all sold them souls. They all sold their souls to the devil, and they sold their souls to money. They serve money. They worship money. They will sell out their dignity, their integrity, everything that they are made up of for, to have benefits and to have people funding them and having all these sponsorships. I mean, judges should wear, like decals, because that's what they are. They're sponsored. They don't, you know what I mean? There is no system because all these people are all worshiping money. Anyways. If you guys like my channel, go ahead and subscribe. I'm just going to shut up because my rants are disorganized and crazy. And you can tell that I'm a passionate practicing Christian. And Obama, I don't give a damn what you think, alright? I will be a martyr, my friend. I'm not afraid of death. But you know what? Go read the book, Fox's Book of Martyrs, and see what happens to people when they try to go and persecute people for what they believe in. Because you know who's going to show up? God's going to show up. And he never leaves you or forsakes you. Never forget that. And read 2 Peter chapter 3 verses, just go read the whole thing. Realize what time you're living in, my friend. God bless you. Have a good day.